principled failure is worth dog shit.
Principled failure is worth dog shit. Does this guy not know what a fucking election is? An election is when you're trying to achieve power in order to enact a thing that you believe. If I don't believe in liberalism, why the fuck would I want to vote in liberals? Why the fuck would I do that, Vaush? Why the fuck would I do that?
So first of all, Bernie Sanders was a small mayor of a small town who rose as an independent congressperson and senator to eventually be the runner-up in the presidential election of the United States of America. He raised an unprecedented amount of money in independent donations for an undeniably socialist set of political policies. And
No. Did the guy go up there and like say anything about Marxism? Did he say anything about communism? No. Did he say anything about any of that? He explicitly said that he wanted to, that he did not want to abolish privately owned means of production. That's what he fucking said. He said that on stage. He explicitly said that. Like, do you think the average communist is talking like Bernie Sanders? No, they're talking about fucking communism. Has Bernie ever, like, promoted Marxist theory or anything like that? Anything like that at all? Did that ever happen? No, it fucking didn't happen. He's saying that he's obviously a fucking socialist? Like, no. He's just a fucking guy that advocated for universal health care and said that he wanted to end wars. And yeah, that's it, really. He dropped out and endorsed Biden. He endorsed Hillary before.
Radicalized millions of Americans. So I will
radicalized. How did Sanders radicalize them to what? To Marxism? He didn't fucking talk about Marxism. What? Did he talk about anarchism? No. Did he talk about communism? No. When the fuck did he ever say communism? Ever? This fucking guy didn't advocate for communism at all, and these fucking people like Vaush are saying, well, he moves people further left. There is no fucking further left. You're either a communist or you're not. The idea that there's like, oh, there's people who are left-wing, and then there's people that are far left, and then there's people that are super far left and are communists, and then there's anarchists. Like, this is a fucking stupid concept. It makes no sense.
Will not take lessons on political efficacy from XX_libslayer69_XX as opposed to Bernie fucking Sanders.
So he's saying that because Bernie Sanders was a popular politician, that means that he's somehow better than the people criticizing him automatically. What a fucking moronic point.
Who has been arguably more successful as a socialist, or at the very least,
he's not.
As the socialist candidate.
He's not. He's fucking not.
Than any other.
Like. Holy shit. Like, okay. So if a communist supported Bernie, if any kind of communist supported Bernie, like I know Socialism for All did, do you really think any like actual Marxist who ever like kind of thought of Bernie Sanders as like decent or like bothered to vote for him, do you think that they like Bernie Sanders? Do you think that they like him now? Do you think that they think fondly of him? Obviously fucking not. Why would they? He has nothing to do with them. You might as well be talking about Trump.
Person in all of American history. All these people, Bernie sold out the establishment. Shut the fuck up!
Yeah? He endorsed Hillary and Biden. What the fuck are you talking about, my dude? Did he run as an independent? No. Did he advocate for communism? No. Did he even talk about communism? Fuck no. Did he co-opt socialist phrasing and like rhetoric and terminology? Yeah. You really think he fucking advocated for so-called democratic socialism on like without like actually looking up the word and like misconstruing it? He fucking intentionally brought over like people who would either be communists or people who are actually communists. All he did was just take those people and like redirect them towards the Democratic Party. And he endorsed Hillary and Biden. Like that's not even like, oh, I think he did that. That's what he did. He ran as a Democrat. He used the word socialism, but only democratic socialism, but he actually meant social democracy and government fucking programs. He did all that, and then he dropped out and endorsed Biden, even though people didn't want him to. That's what he fucking did. He's not a communist. Is he starting his own party? No.
Put me in an alternate universe where
You really think Bernie could not start his own party or like have his own or like change like the Green Party or something? Like he was invited to join the Green Party. He could have like if he was an actual communist, he could have brought people towards the Green Party and like turned it into like a Marxist party, but he didn't because he doesn't want to, because he's not a fucking Marxist. How does Vaush not understand this?
lefties in America, or at least lefties online in America, have even a remote, just a slimmer of an understanding of how to play the political game.
How to play the political game? You mean be a fucking liberal and pretend you're a socialist to bring socialists over to the Democratic Party and just fuck over actual communist movements? You mean to confuse the hell out of everyone? That's what Bernie did. All he did was confuse people and just like, yeah, that's really it. That's just it. I just don't trust the fucking guy. Why would I? What has he done? Vaush is like, oh, Bernie was successful. He was a progressive and he was successful. Like, I don't give a shit. He has nothing to do with me. He has nothing to do with actual left-wing politics. He's a fucking, like, how is he really much different than Biden? They both believe the same shit. They both believe in capitalism. A lot of people will take that and they'll be like, well, not everyone can be perfect. Like, no, that's the bare fucking minimum. They think that communism is just like, oh, a small little idea, and then there's all these other ideas that are equally as important, like universal healthcare somehow.
I am so sick of this shit. Listen the fuck up. Do you know why Bernie Sanders has stopped criticizing the DNC establishment and has started unilaterally backing everything the DNC does? Oh, we're so proud of Biden and taking this initiative. Oh, I support Kamala Harris.
Is he about to say something dumb as hell?
Do you know why he's doing that? Because his fan base is full of 64 IQ dipshits like you people who are looking for any fucking excuse to reach and equivocate the literal fascism Trump represents with the dawdling neoliberalism that a Biden-Kamala Harris ticket represents. Because
Trump was already elected. Also, where do you think people like Trump come from?
he understands that if he could criticize even a remote criticism, and thousands of you idiots would go, this is actually, wow, you're right, Bernie doesn't accept the results of this rigged election. I'm not voting for these two. You're the problem. You're the reason he can't criticize them. You put him in a position of weakness because he knows that his fan base isn't a quarter as intelligent as he is, and it hurts him every day. You're hurting Bernie Sanders.
No, no. Bernie Sanders is a fucking, I guess, socialism for all. The YouTube channel refers to Bernie as a sheepdog. Like a sellout, which, yeah, like what else is he? He's not a communist. He used the word socialist. He should not have fucking done that. And now he has to be criticized for it Because of course he does.
You are advancing his death, and he's old enough as it is. Because every fucking day, I imagine he goes online and he checks his fucking Twitter response. Not something I'd do if I was a political candidate, by the way. Checks his fucking Twitter responses and gets heart palpitations from watching you idiots toss away every ounce of political effectiveness he has built for you over the course of his lifetime. Here is the position Bernie Sanders is in right now. He's lost. He's done. He's not running again. He's too old. It's not happening. But he got close, and he brought over millions of people.
To what? Okay, did a communist run after that? And did a communist become popular after that? No. Trump got fucking elected after Biden.
We may not live in the best democracy, but as is the case with every other country in all of human history, democracy or otherwise, all political power is backed by the mandate of the masses. Public support is what matters more than anything else. That's why even an authoritarian like Trump has to constantly throw rallies to venerate and work up his fan base. Even he understands that. And what Bernie understands is though he may not be president, he may not even be running for president anymore, he is now staring down the barrel of the most conceivably progressive Democratic Party ticket.
Progressive. A vague term that doesn't mean fucking anything.
In the history of this country, with more people in this country than ever before.
Has he used the term Marxist or communist? Has he used any of these fucking terms? No, because it's not fucking true.
Who are sincerely and legitimately questioning the efficacy of capitalism to fix the problems that we face day in and day out.
He didn't complain about capitalism. He wrote a book complaining about so-called uber capitalism.
Never before has America had such a broadly positive opinion on the concept of socialism. And in large part, that is to him. That is because of him. He has radicalized millions of people.
To what?
It was his life project to do so. And
Radicalize them to what? To support universal fucking healthcare? And then he didn't even get elected? And he endorsed people that aren't like him? Or, well, they are like him, but you know what I mean.
And I'm sure he would have loved to be president as well, but God fucking damn it. Getting this far along is still an excellent concession prize. And what do you people do with that power he's given you? What do you do with the public mandate? You cut yourself off from the DNC, from the organization that he's worked to infiltrate.
Infiltrate? Like, he didn't have to fucking do that. To infiltrate. Like, okay, he infiltrate. Like, what the fuck has happened with the Democratic Party? Like, what? People voted Biden in. He won the election, and then he tried again, and then he lost to Trump. I don't know what the fuck. Like, what?
Over the past 5 years, right now, the Democratic Party for the first...
This is so over dramatic. He's acting like Bernie fucking like made like 40% of the population communists or some shit. Like he's acting like Bernie made like the country like 45% Marxist-Leninist or something. Like, holy Christ. Has he even mentioned communism a single fucking time in this video, and it's been 6 minutes long?
First time in history is in a position where they may actually have to capitulate to the left for votes.
This is the issue with Vaush. He doesn't actually talk about communism. He just like pretends to care about like, oh, vague socialism or something, and then just tells everyone to vote for Democrats if they want socialism. That's all he does. That's his whole fucking job. That's the only thing he ever does.
This is unprecedented. If you motherfuckers don't vote, do you know what the Democratic Party is going to do? They're going to move right to try and capitalize on people who actually fucking vote.
So his argument is, hey, communists should vote for Democrats because if they don't, the Democrats will move to the right so that people vote for them. Are you fucking kidding me? That's his argument. That's actually his fucking argument. Hey, communists, you should support the Democratic Party, because if you don't, they'll be worse than the Democratic Party. Sure? Who fucking cares?
Ooh, well, how are you going to get any concessions from Biden if you pledge your vote to him right away? That's not how it works. Biden doesn't go online and look at the fucking public support he has on Twitter and then decide what his policy positions are going to be. What he's looking to do is rep the party. He is a puppet.
The party is a capitalist party.
As all political candidates are, for the party. The DNC
For the party.
is the stronger organization here, and the longevity of the DNC ultimately rests in their ability to trick their constituency into believing the DNC best represents their interests.
He hasn't talked about the working class. He hasn't talked about communism. He hasn't talked about anything like that.
But we're waking up. For the first time, we're waking up.
To what?
Millions of people who...
Millions of people are radicalized. They're waking up. Millions are radicalized. Fucking what? What is this guy talking about? Holy shit, dude.
will be voting Democrat are beginning to realize that...
Do you have any fucking idea how many Bernie supporters have no idea what communism even is? And these people will say that he radicalized them? These fucking people already believed things that Bernie fucking believed in. Like, it's not like Bernie invented the concept of fucking tax-funded healthcare, my guy.
The framework of neoliberalism is incapable of fixing the fundamental problems in this country. And because of that, the Democratic Party is going to have...
So you vote for liberals in order to teach people that liberalism doesn't work? Like, they're already voting for liberals, you fucking retard.
...to start taking us seriously. Whether or not we pledge to vote for Biden, they're going to have to start taking us seriously. More and more congressional and senatorial candidates are either losing to or feeling pressure from legitimate progressive or even socialist candidates. We are putting up a front, and we are winning.
Wait, what did he say? I zoned out. I was thinking about something.
Biden, they're going to have to start taking us seriously. Whether or not we pledge to vote for Biden, they're going to have to start taking us seriously.
They're going to start... So he's saying that Biden is going to have to start taking communists seriously if he wants votes. Like, isn't that what Bernie did when he fucking co-opted socialist terms disingenuously? That's already what Bernie was doing. Why the fuck would Biden do that?
More and more congressional and senatorial candidates are either losing to or feeling pressure from legitimate progressive or even socialist candidates.
Wait, I zoned out again at that part.
Have to start taking us seriously. More and more congressional and senatorial candidates are either losing to or feeling pressure from legitimate progressive or even socialist candidates. We are putting up a front, and we are winning. And you would toss all of that away for some misguided understanding of how electoral politics works, because you think the Democratic Party is going to bend over to the left after you prove you won't vote for them? You think
it has nothing to do with that. This is just straw manning.
That's an effective strategy? You really think they won't just...
This fucking guy still hasn't talked about communism. He mentioned socialist twice. He uses the term socialist. He doesn't use the term Marxist. He doesn't use the term communist or Leninist or whatever. He just says socialist. He uses the term leftist. Anyone who calls themselves a leftist and never calls themselves a communist is not a communist. That's just how it works. If they're not calling themselves communists, then they're not communists. Vaush has called himself a communist, but barely. He's barely fucking done that. I used to be a fan of his, and I watched him for years, and I was like an ultra fan of his. I only remember like one time that he called himself a communist, and it was in like a humorous kind of context. And he's like, I know he's like promoted Marx and shit vaguely, but yeah, like he doesn't care about communism, which is obvious. Just go look at his channel. It's just anti-Republican stuff.
Go, oh, well, we went too far left this election. That's why we lost to Trump 2 times. Okay, go back to the right. All right, everyone, no public option either. We're just going...
So you're going to make... The Democratic Party is not... Okay, the Democratic Party are puppets of the capitalist class. If socialists don't vote for them, you really fucking think that the Democratic Party is going to support communism because communists aren't fucking voting for them? I fucked that up. Like, you really think that the Democratic Party is going to lean into what communists want? Like, because communists aren't voting for, like, what the fuck? Like, just go to a different fucking party that is not a bunch of goddamn career politicians that support wars.
We're just going to bring back all of Obamacare. That's what you want. And
now we're talking about goddamn Obamacare?
That's what you deserve, frankly. It is unbelievable to me, not just the little people on Twitter. And I don't mean little here diminutively. I'm going to assume this person, Kamala Harris, is a Steve Mnuchin, so on and so on, probably isn't some sort of prominent political commentator. But there are other people too. You know who the fuck you are, who are propagating this misinformation, this deception to the left, and you're doing it for fucking clout, okay? You're doing it so you can be the big dick fucking anti-establishment lefty who doesn't take shit from nobody and gets lots of fucking donations and YouTube subs and YouTube views.
He's accusing people of being anti-Bernie in order to get YouTube views and be, like, impressive or holier than thou or whatever the fuck. Like, no, it's just called having an actual belief system and not just bowing down to whatever fucking political party is most popular at the time.
Talking about how the DNC doesn't represent your interest and you don't care to vote for anyone. Oh, and I bet it feels...
They don't represent our interests because we're not... I don't know how many times I have to say it.
Right, while you're riding this high. And now you get to spend the next 8 years complaining the DNC is moving right because they didn't see any interest.
No communist is complaining about the DNC moving right.
And trying to pander to the votes of people who are further left.
Further left.
Listen, I'm a socialist. I don't think
I don't know about that.
The DNC is ever going to move far left enough for it to be capable of meaningfully representing our interests, okay? The DNC is ultimately a neoliberal framework. I don't think we can make the DNC socialist, okay? I think there can be socialists in the DNC.
Not really, no. Like, even if you could, like, why not just fucking start with that with a different party? Why does it have to be fucking Democrats? Like, why? Because it's popular? Like, it's popular... Like, it's popular with people who are not communist. Like, what? I don't fucking understand. Like, it doesn't matter. Oh my god. So, the whole point, like, the way that you convince people to be communists is you build communist movements. You tell people about communism. You promote communism. You promote communists. That's what you do. You don't just fucking be like, oh, let's do libertarian socialism, whatever the fuck that means. Let's do that. Let's advocate for worker co-ops and fucking anti-police rhetoric and nothing beyond that. And then just vote for fucking liberals every goddamn year. Or every election.
I don't think we can make the DNC socialist. You know what we need to make a socialist political party? Well, first of all, we need to make third parties viable. That's something we need to do.
Third parties would be viable if people voted for them, but you won't support that because... Okay, so this fucking guy is like, support Democrats because they can win. Or they can win what? They can win for liberalism or whatever. Like what? Like a Democrat winning is not a victory for socialists. What the fuck?
Obviously, but that's legislation. We can, you know, who's more likely to vote for that legislation? By the way, Democrats. Democrats are more likely to do that. The abolition of the Electoral College, that would be a Democrat ticket.
So, like, the the abolition of the Electoral College would benefit Democrats. What? Hey guys, the Democrats would support something that benefits the fucking Democrats. This means that they're better for socialists.
The abolition of the first past the party or first past the post voting, that'd be a Democrat thing. See,
It's not about voting for. It's not a. The point is that people are supposed to be supporting communist movements, not fucking liberals. That's the point. That's not going to change if you implement different different electoral systems. That's not going to fucking change. People are still going to support the same people. They're saying that since third parties aren't viable, you should not support third parties that are not viable, and they're not viable because they're not supported. So you shouldn't support third parties because they're not viable because they're not supported. Are you fucking kidding me?
you know, just in case you were wondering who'd be more likely to vote for that, that would be Democrats. Electoral reform, not exactly a Republican, initiative there. If you want to have a political party that is legitimately socialist, you know what you need? You need socialists.
Yeah? Oh my god, is he going to say Bernie Sanders?
You need people who care about and believe the mantra that private ownership and that the relentless production of commodities for the sake of the consumption of commodities are ineffective ways of governing our economy today in the modern era.
Okay, that's the only like proper communist thing he said, and he's making a bad point out of it.
And do you know how you get those socialists?
By voting for liberals that have nothing to do with socialism and pretend to have something to do with socialism. Like, he's legit advocating for voting for fucking liars. Sanders is a liar. He is a fucking liar. You really think he's honest? The dude called himself a socialist and didn't fucking mention anything even remotely relating to any kind of socialist theory or anything. All he said was, billionaires are bad. Like, what the fuck does that have to do? Like, yeah, okay. Like, a lot of Republicans fucking don't even want billionaires to exist, I'd imagine.
Well, I don't know. Ask Bernie Sanders, the guy who dedicated his life to an optics project that ended up winning over millions.
Winning over millions to what? To Bernie fucking Sanders? To the Democratic Party? Winning them over to fucking what? He's saying, oh, Bernie Sanders, a guy that's not a fucking socialist, won people over to fucking voting for Bernie Sanders.
Don't ask Kamala Harris is a Steve Mnuchin whose myopic, short-sighted approach to electoral politics would see us dead.
What the hell?
Who would see us completely politically irrelevant.
You know what's completely... what the hell's going on with his eyes? He said, oh, to see us completely politically irrelevant. Communism is basically entirely fucking irrelevant in America right now, and it's because of people like this guy that are just confusing people and redirecting them.
That's what you need to do. You need to follow in that example. You need to make socialism look good and then bend the knee when it's time to bend the knee.
Who like make socialism look good? Like, Sanders doesn't support socialism. He never mentioned anything about socialism. Like, okay, imagine if Sanders never used the term democratic socialism. Like, he would just be the same shit. Like, he would just, like, no one would have called him a socialist. But it's because he said the word democratic socialism, not communism, but just socialism, that people call him a socialist. That's the only fucking reason, pretty much. There's like some weird stuff he said a long time ago, but that's it. If the fucking guy in 2 presidential runs, he hasn't advocated for communism at all, then yeah, he's not a communist and he has nothing to do with communism. And therefore communists should not vote for him or support him or care about him. Because why the fuck would they? He's not winning over anyone to anything that matters.
Because this is the problem the left has every time. The left throws their hands up. It's time!
What does he mean by the left? Does he mean communists or does he mean liberals? He thinks liberals and communists are both left. So what the fuck is the point of the word left? So the difference between Republicans and Democrats and their like voters is that Democrats are less racist and they're like slightly better on various things. Okay, now contrast that with the difference between communists and those 2 things that I mentioned. Like the difference between a communist and a Democrat voter is like they're completely fucking different. Meanwhile, Republican voters and Democratic voters, they are so similar that they're both mainstream and are the only political parties that matter.
But it's not time. We got something. You don't have anything. Bernie lost. It's time. We run again. Round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5. I'd rather win 10 years from now than lose forever.
Holy fuck. That's actually the opposite of what he's doing.
Now.
Holy shit. He just said that he wants to win now instead of going on and losing over and over again, which is exactly what he's fucking proposing. He's proposing that the working class loses over and over again by supporting people against their own interests, and says that anyone that advocates for supporting actual fucking Marxism is counterproductive or whatever.
Don't throw away the political goodwill we're building in some short-sighted, meaningless effort to throw away any establishment appeal.
Short-sighted.
Work within the system. Be smart, like the fascists.
Dude is saying that communists should do what fascists do, even though fascists are supporters of capitalism. Like they're disingenuous. What is the term? I can't fucking think of the term.
Like the people who infiltrated the Republican Party and turned it from a Reagan-esque neoconservative war machine 20 years ago to an open, out and about, unrepentant, fascist propaganda outlet.
Infiltrated. Like, this is what capitalists do? That's what they fucking do? Like, infiltrated. Like, he's comparing the Republican Party somewhat transforming, kind of. He's comparing that to Democrats versus fucking communists.
Today, by infiltrating the party.
Infiltrating. Why not just have your own goddamn party and be done with it?
By making themselves look good, by making themselves necessary.
Okay, so if communists support liberals, so how does that work? So a bunch of people that know nothing about communism, which is almost everyone, almost every fucking person in the country and the world, almost everyone knows nothing about communism, and you're like, hey, communists should only support liberals and never fucking talk about communism, which is what this guy never does. He never talks about it. And he's saying, hey, everyone should just look at how all the communists are supporting liberals and not communism, and not advocating for communism or educating on it or anything like that. That's what he's advocating for. He's advocating for confusion and misunderstanding. He's advocating for communists to surrender their efforts and their movements to the Democratic Party in order to win over their voters or something, which they can already fucking do anyway by having their own goddamn party. You know what's a proper opposition to the Democratic Party? Being a fucking actual opposition in your own party.
Don't be stupider than the fashion.
Why would you oppose the fucking Democratic Party inside of the Democratic Party? That makes no goddamn sense whatsoever.
Don't be weaker than the fascists. For God's sake. Political radicalization go a wide number of ways. There are a lot of ways to do it wrong.
I don't like how people say radicalization. Like, radicalization. Radicalize to fucking what? Like, people either turn into a communist or they turn into some, like, insane conspiracy theorist fucking nutcase that hates Jews or something. Like, that's the only radicalism there is.
Wrong.
Like, oh, it's radical. Like, Bernie Sanders isn't fucking radical. He's just the healthcare guy.
I would say Occupy Wall Street was a bad way of doing it, by the way. I've never been a big fan of the way that organization was... Not organization, sorry. The way that movement was handled. I don't think it did a good job. I don't think empty anti-establishment vigor is the same as anti-capitalism, and I don't think it's the same as...
He is doing anti-establishment vigor. That's what Sanders is. He said he has slogans like "Fight the oligarchy." The fucking oligarchy? Are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me, my guy? I keep saying that, but the oligarchy. Okay, you mean the capitalist class? He says the 1%. Oh, does he mean the capitalist class? Well, he doesn't want people to think that. He doesn't want people to think that way, so that's why he says, the billionaires. He wants people to think of it in that way, rather than how it actually is, in like a systemic way. He just wants people to think of them as like, oh, mean, scary business owners that are greedier than other business owners and small businesses.
Socialism, not even close. Run the cycle. Make sure Biden wins. So when we're protesting in 2022, we face state police and not fascist paratroopers.
Bruh. We already had the fucking guy in power. Like, what?
Make sure Biden wins.
Trump was already in fucking power, my guy. Also, Trump is only allowed another 4 years unless he somehow manages to get past that. And even if he fucking did, the dude's gonna die anyway. Also, if people supported communists, like, okay, if a communist wins, do you fucking think Trump's gonna be able to do shit like that? No.
And work within his party, so when all the problems in this country aren't solved, the people who voted Democrat can look up at Biden and realize Biden isn't fixing things. Liberalism isn't fixing things.
Then why the fuck are you advocating for them to vote for them? His argument is to vote for Democrats because it'll make Democrat voters understand that Democrats are fucking bad. So vote for fucking terrible candidates that have nothing to do with your beliefs in order to prove that the candidate is bad? Are you fucking retarded? Hey guys, vote in favor of stupid shit in order to let people know that it's actually stupid shit and you weren't lying. Hey guys, throw your fucking friend off a cliff to let them know that there's a cliff right there and that they should be very careful walking next to it.
If Trump wins, the Democratic voters will only believe things aren't working because Trump is in office.
This is fucking stupid. Just tell people about communism and they'll be like, oh, communism is cool. And then they'll become a communist and that's it. You don't have to be like, well, actually, if you advocate for universal healthcare, a thing that people already fucking believe in, they'll end up being communists after fucking 45 goddamn years of voting for Democrats over and over again, even though they're doing horrible shit.
We need to show them their preferred system doesn't work. We need to...
You can do that in other ways. They like, these people are already in power. He's acting like the Democratic Party is like some new fucking thing or something.
Get them frustrated with Biden, so they then turn...
People don't even like Biden to begin with. What is he talking about? Like, who the fuck goes, yeah, I love Biden, he's amazing.
To the people within the DNC.
Oh yeah, here's one argument I can make. So you know how there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't do politics. It's stupid. There's no point. It doesn't change anything. They're all terrible, blah, blah, blah. The system sucks, something, or I don't fucking know, whatever. Those people exist. Those people are like that because of fuckers like you telling them that they should vote for the status quo over and over again, just supporting the same fucking people that make the working class feel powerless. It makes people feel like shit and not want to participate at all and just completely ignore it.
Who are agreeing with them. You're right. Biden isn't solving these problems.
I voted for Biden and he didn't fucking do communism. Therefore,
country isn't getting fixed.
Hey guys, I voted for a guy and he didn't fucking fix the country in one presidential term. I'm not going to vote for him again and I'm going to be a fucking Marxist.
We have a solution. And you need to be there with that solution.
You could just do that anyway. That's what I do.
As people in the DNC.
Okay, go watch Socialism for All's videos and let me know if he would be more effective if he just talked about supporting the Democratic Party rather than being against them and supporting communism. Who do you think is more convincing to people in regards to building
as
communist belief? Who do you think is more convincing? Do you think it's, I don't know, like Marxist theorists or YouTubers like Socialism for All? Is it people like that? Or is it or is it Vaush just making a bunch of anti-Republican videos? Is it Vaush?
It's people who voted for Biden, not as a bunch of radical outsiders who distanced yourself from the most effective political candidate who repped your interests in the history of this country.
Repped your interests. The interests of what? And you might think, oh, he's not talking about communism. He's talking about other shit. Well, he mentioned communism, so yeah, like he called Bernie Sanders a socialist, and then Vaush started like talking about communism, like very briefly. Like, yeah, he's saying that yeah.
Not as a bunch of myopic anti-establishment Twitter meme accounts, but as people
anti-establishment,
intelligent enough to play the political game. You call it selling out your principles. I call it fucking winning.
Winning what? He didn't even fucking win. He ran twice and he didn't even fucking win. Like the dude endorsed Hillary and Biden. Couldn't any of you endorse like a fucking communist or something? Couldn't any of you at least, he could have endorsed someone from like a different party or something. Like, why the fuck would he endorse Biden? It's like Vaush thinks the only fucking person that existed in the history of the universe is fucking Biden, Trump, and Bernie Sanders.
And that's my principle. To win as a socialist.
To win what? To win? He's doing the fucking politics is team sports thing that he accuses Republicans of. He's doing that. He's like, we have to win. Win what? A fucking election for goddamn liberal Democrats? Is that what we're fucking trying to win? That's not a win for communism. That's not a win for the fucking working class. That's a win for the goddamn party that's been in power for fucking 150 goddamn years. Or no, not even longer. I was thinking of the Republicans, but yeah, it's the Democrats.
Not to lose as a socialist. That's not my principle. I don't give a fuck about principled failure.
principled failure. So he says he doesn't care about principled failure. So Vaush's mentality is support the status quo until you're able to get past it somehow. Support it infinitely and not talk about any actual fucking principles or ideas or anything. No, don't severely pressure anything. Don't advocate for your own shit. Just support the popular thing until other people magically are won over by ideas that have nothing to do with what the fuck you're trying to advocate for.
Principled failure is worth dog shit.
Principled failure is worth dog shit. Does this guy not know what a fucking election is? An election is when you're trying to achieve power in order to enact a thing that you believe. If I don't believe in liberalism, why the fuck would I want to vote in liberals? Why the fuck would I do that, Vaush? Why the fuck would I do that? Can you have an answer, please? Holy shit.
Principled victory is worth everything.
Wait, did he just say principled victory?
Shit. Principled victory is worth everything.
Principled victory. Yeah, the principle of saying that a guy is a fucking socialist because he said, democratic socialism, we gotta end billionaires. When the fuck did Marx complain about, like, rich people? When the fuck did that happen? I haven't read any of his shit, and I can guarantee he never said anything like billionaires. Were there billionaires back then? I don't know, who gives a shit? The point still stands. But yeah, like, do you think Marx said stuff like that? No. And a lot of people might be like, well, he's not Marx, he's this other guy that's not as radical. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. That's just an improper way to think of it. That's like, you're either a communist or you're not. There's no in between. This fucking idea that, oh, you have capitalism. Like, you have, like, extreme capitalism, and then you have capitalism, and then you have fucking social democracy, and then you have socialism, and then you have communism, and then you have Marxism, and then you have fucking Stalinism. Like, that's not how any of this shit works.
So please, vote Biden, wait for Biden to win, then shit talk Biden nonstop for 4 fucking years.
That's not what Vaush did.
And when the election comes around again, you do the same fucking thing. You vote blue, and then you push, and you keep pushing, and eventually, because our arguments are better, because capitalism is killing this country, because people are finally starting to wake up, we will win.
They're finally starting to wake up, and we are winning. Therefore, vote for fucking Democrats.
Win. We just need to exercise the basic, fundamental level of political literacy, which seems to be understood by even the most unintelligent fascists working in this country. That is...
Holy shit, dude. This fucking guy is like, oh, fascists, they know how to do this. They know how to be politically efficacious for their own goals because they work within capitalism and support the fucking Republican Party and radicalize the Republican Party to be more racist, even though the fucking Republican Party is already racist as shit to begin with. This guy is comparing fascists. So he's taking the whole, like, oh, fascists making the Republican Party slightly worse. He's taking that and he's comparing it to, like, he's saying that, oh my god, he's saying that socialists should do that, but with the Democratic Party. Like, that's not how it works, because the reason I say that is because the capitalist class doesn't give a fuck whether or not there is fascism. That's not something they care about. Whereas communism versus liberalism is something that I care about, whereas capitalists, they don't give a fuck whether you have fascism or just regular capitalism with democracy. They don't really care. It's not like It's not like, oh, one is good and one is bad for them.
All I ask of you, that is it. That is the baseline level.
Like okay, fascism and capitalism. This guy already knows this. Capitalism and fascism are a part of the same thing. They're a part of capitalism. That's what they are. Communism and liberal Democrats are completely fucking different. They're completely different fucking things.
Of camaraderie from which I ask of you. I will not be the wokest person in the fucking mass grave. I will not be marched off to the trains to have someone next to me complain that if only I hadn't voted in the 2020 election, maybe this wouldn't have happened. I want to win so you can
win what? Like the Democrats win, okay? What does that have to do with us winning? What?
Be alive so I can be alive so we can keep winning.
So he's saying vote for Democrats or the Republicans will fucking kill you in a death camp. That's what this guy's whole shtick is. He's, hey, communists, I know you like communism, but please vote for Biden so that Republicans don't literally kill us in mass and put us in mass graves. That's literally what he's fucking saying. That's not even an exaggeration. He just said that. He just fucking said that. That's actually what he's doing. Holy shit, this guy.
So please, stop. Especially all the political commentators who continue to push this narrative. Please.
Push what narrative? That Sanders isn't a fucking communist because he's not, and he never fucking advocated for communism at all? What the fuck?
Holy shit, please. I can't take it anymore. It's unbelievable how myopic you people are sometimes. You're vote shaming us. Yeah, fuck you. And if you were a Nazi, I'd be Nazi shaming you too. Yeah, if you do shit things, I'll call you out for doing shit things, you stupid motherfucker. Vote shaming. What a pathetic fucking denigration of the sanctity of political engagement.
Who the hell is saying, who's complaining about vote shame? What?
You're shaming me for doing things that hurt our movement and hurt the world. Yeah, fuck off.
So not supporting liberals is harmful for communist movements.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck how woke you are up in here. If your actions amount to jack shit, then you aren't doing anything for me, and you're not doing anything for yourself, too.
That could be said about Vaush. Is he talking about himself? Does he have a mirror?
All right, good. We're cool. There we go. We did it.
That was an absolute disaster. I need to find, or what was that one part? There was one part where I was clearly like fucking mad. I was like clearly mad. What the? Yeah, I was clearly mad, and I made a really good point. I don't know where it's, like maybe around here. Yeah, I gotta find that shit. That was amazing.